Wise Guy Radio, episode number 48.
This is the Wise Guy Radio Show, a podcast dedicated to educating and inspiring through conversations with today's top talents in the world of glass. We will be dissecting their journeys in hopes to deliver actionable content that you, the artist, can start implementing now, helping you grow not only as a creative spirit, but also a successful artistic entrepreneur. With a little organization, relationship building, and your artistic ability, you can obtain greatness. Climb aboard, whether an artist, retail owner, or enthusiast. We have a ton of fun in store for you. Welcome to the Wise Guy Radio Show.
You're listening to the Wise Guy Radio Show.
What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to the Wise Guy Radio Show, episode number 48. This is Jay Muckle, your host. Thank you so much for tuning in today. I am really excited to be here and get the show on the road. Today we are going to be going over our shop tip of the week, which is all about shop etiquette, and also beginning the intro to the 4-Hour Workweek by Tim Ferriss. I wanted to go over some upcoming things going on in the world of glass. But before I do, again, this show is dedicated to all you folks out there in the world of glass, whether you're a glass fuser, soft glass worker on the beads, furnace worker, lamp worker, pipe maker, whatever it is that tickles your fancy and you make glass out of. Today I also wanted to go over some calendar of events coming up here in the near future, especially a couple of ones that are important to me. One that first coming up is November 15th. It has officially been announced that at the LSD Gallery in Lake Worth, Florida. I will be there on November 15th at 4 p.m. starting a demo. It's going to be my 4th annual demonstration there with these guys. Courtney and Clint are two awesome people that own the store. And for those of you who have not seen the shop or know the area, it's outside of Fort Lauderdale in South Florida. And you can check out their Instagram, which is at LSD Gallery, LSDGALLERY. And or you also can go to their website and look up lsdgallery.com. And you can also purchase things that they have in their shop that are available on their website. I know myself personally, I still have a couple pieces that are in there. And I will be bringing a full new batch of new release items and lines that are coming out for this next round, for my winter line in a sense. So yeah, so come check me out down there, all my peeps in South Florida. Also coming up on November 3rd through the 5th in Denver is going to be Champs. They're going to be doing their annual thing there. And then also wanted to give you guys a heads up that in June of 2016, June 9th through the 11th, the gas conference is going to be at Corning this year, which is pretty freaking awesome, and I am going to do everything in my power to get my ass out there. This year's theme is creating context, glass in a new light. Sounds pretty interesting. So if you have not yet joined the gas conference, ever been there, I highly recommend it. I have not been myself, but I know what it's all about and have talked to folks that have gone and also gotten some information at the gas conference or the gas website online too. It's got to be a member, and then you can go from there. And the fees are pretty reasonable. It also gets you involved in yourself, insight into the whole kind of glass world out there. Either way, I want to give you guys a heads up about that. Please go to wiseguyradio.com. That is WYZGUY radio.com, and you can sign up for our newsletter, which I am about to put out for this week's newsletter, and then we'll be getting ready for next week's and therefore after. Also, you can get some content and some links to our sponsors as well, and some kind of fun stuff on there for you guys to download. And then also, if you want to contact me, you can contact me at info@wiseguyradio.com, and that's where you can leave me a message or an email or whatever, and just want to say hi and what have you. Give me any kind of feedback on the show. Also, please, if you guys have not yet subscribed to the podcast itself, you can subscribe to either on Stitcher for all you Droid lovers, or if you have an iPhone, you just go to your iTunes and subscribe to the podcast. That way your shows are automatically downloaded when they come available. And then also, if you can, please, if you have not yet, if you can go leave a numero star review, preferably a 5-star review, and also leave a comment on there. By doing that, that also helps with the whole iTunes algorithm, and then gets my show a little bit further up in the rankings and stuff, and it's more exposure, because the idea is to expose the world to what it is that we do and kind of show off this incredible group of artists by the thousands worldwide that are involved in making glass in some form or other into an art, and also are very passionate about it. And so, again, I hope you guys enjoy this episode. This is episode numero 48. I will be going over the 4-Hour Workweek by Tim Ferriss, and also going to be giving you all a little bit of shop talk. So in our Wise Guy Radio shop tip of the week. So we will talk to you guys soon. Be safe out there. It's getting to be beautiful weather, so definitely enjoy that. Hopefully we can all get on a normal schedule instead of working late in the nights and get some good sleeps and function like regular human beings. And so much love, everybody. You guys are awesome. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I will see you on the next round. Peace. All right, now it's time to get into our Wise Guy Radio Shop Tip of the Week, and this week we are going to be talking about etiquette. And the reason I wanted to bring this up is I am recently, as many of you all know, have opened up a brand new big studio for myself with my buddy Chad, who him and I have sharing the space, and we have two other artists in there working with us, who is my brother Jared, who goes by JB Glass Art on Instagram, and also our buddy Eli, who goes under Esh Glass on Instagram. Jared's is at JB_Glass Art, and then Eli's is at ESH_Glass. And these guys are rocking and rolling, young glass artists. My brother's been doing this now for 5 years, and Eli's been around 2. And then Chad's over 10 years, and myself coming on year 7. The important part of this whole kind of idea is that remember that not only are you using your space, you're also going to be using everybody else's space. Not in terms of their bench, but just the overall studio space. So it's important to keep your area clean, all your glass put away, spray it down if you have a way to spray it down, and get all the dust put away. Just kind of keep your shit organized. So that way everybody in the shop isn't looking at your mess. Not sure how many of you have smoking studios or smoke-free studios. My studio is smoke-free, so there's no cigarette butts and shit. But if you guys are smoking in your studios, make sure you get that shit cleaned up too, especially for those that don't smoke. Definitely would appreciate that. And just think about the idea of the studio being an unchoreographed dance routine. Everybody's moving around with hot glass kilns, going in and out of kilns, kind of having a lot of fun with the art and creative process, but to understand how to move around everybody is very important. If you're collabing with somebody, thinking about like how to hand off a hot piece of glass on a blow tube, this is all kind of little insights and things that you should really kind of cover. But really today, I just wanted to kind of just go over the really aspect that is most important to me, which is the communication part. Whether you're renting the space itself or if it's your space, it's really important to communicate with each other. So everybody kind of knows whose schedules are what. And, a lot of studios are 24 hours, just like mine is. But we all do communicate in terms of who's coming in, and we share kilns as well. So we need to know, like, if someone needs to have something put in the kiln, or if there's glass in there from the day before, what needs to stay in, what can come out. So if you're, like, say, the first person into the studio for the day, and you're getting yourself set up, and you're not really sure about what's going on, or if their gas is low and you're not sure if gas is coming in, just pick up the phone and call whoever studio it is and talk to them and find out. You can also make them aware as well that if, say, your gas is getting low, and you need to make a phone call and get that going. This is really kind of generalized topics, but I really wanted to just kind of discuss that. Just the most important things are keeping your area clean, knowing how to move around the studio while everybody's working, and then also the communication factor of your schedule in terms of when's coming in and out. Also, if you're going to be out of town or whatever, and also so everybody can kind of communicate and just keep everybody on the same track and stuff. So as kind of wild and all over the place that segment was, I hope you guys enjoyed the segment we just went through, which was the Wise Guy Radio Shop Tip of the Week. And now it's time for the Wise Guy Radio Audiobook Club, and we are now starting the next installment in our book club, which is going to be the 4-Hour Workweek by Tim Ferriss. And the 4-Hour Workweek is my book, which has basically come in line after we discovered the E-Myth. And the E-Myth was all about the idea of being a true entrepreneur and running a business and scaling a business so that it's actually running itself without you having to be there, even though in our sense and nature as an artist, that's not very possible. But the idea is, again, creating a business and creating your business inside of the life you want to live. So you create your lifestyle, and then you design your business to work around that so you can live that lifestyle. And the 4-Hour Workweek continues that same philosophy and idea. And I pulled this summary off of Wikipedia, and Wiki now has wiki summaries, which I thought was pretty cool. And you guys can also go there and read this and check this out. But I'm going to go ahead and read this entire thing. It's like 4 pages, real quick thing. But this is a very good introduction into this book and why I find this book is so important. Also why this book has changed so many lives out there in the world of business, and not only increased profits, but increased profits like exponentially to a point to where we can learn how to live and grow and live the life we want to live and the lifestyle. It's pretty cool, all the different topics he gets into and all the little hacks and tricks and secrets and stuff. Again, you can find this at Wiki Summaries. Just put in, just go to Wikipedia and just put in 4 Hour Workweek Summary, and it'll bring it up for you. And again, don't forget, guys, you can just go to audibletrial.com. That's AUDIBLE trial.com/Wise Guy Radio, WYZGUI Radio. And you can get this book for free if you just go in there and sign up for the 30-day free trial, and then you'll get a free audiobook. And then you can go in there and get the 4 Hour Workweek, and you can listen along with us as we go over this book. I'm going to be going over pretty much like 4 chapters at a time, except for one chapter towards the end is a little bit longer than the rest. But basically wanted to just give you guys the brief intro into it now and summary, and then we are going to get the hell out of here. So, all right. So again, 4 Hour Workweek, which is written by Tim Ferriss. Tim Ferriss is a badass dude, late 30s, pretty cool guy. So basically, this is what the summary was written. Again, Wiki Summaries. What the 4 Hour Workweek is about. After college, Tim Ferriss, took a soul-sucking sales job at a tech firm. He left to start a soul-sucking business of his own. He went from working 40 hours a week for somebody else to working 80 hours a week for himself, and he hated it. The pay was good, but the business left him drained. After learning about the Pareto principle, more commonly known as the 80-20 principle, Ferriss had a revelation. He streamlined his business, eliminating distractions and automating systems until it was not only profitable, but also took less of his time. Much less. He took a quote-unquote mini-retirement and then decided to write a book about lifestyle design, about creating a life that balances work and play, maximizing the positives of both. The 4 Hour Workweek describes the specific actions Ferriss took to implement these steps. This book actually is the complete embodiment of the 80-20 principle into an individual's professional life. The 80-20 principle is the idea that 80% of your productivity comes from 20% of your time, and the other 20% of your productivity eats up 80% of your time. Ferriss argues that by eliminating that 20% of productivity that eats up most of your time, you can live in a much more efficient fashion, and the entire book revolves around that concept in various ways, hence the title, The 4 Hour Workweek. In some ways, the book itself reads like a blog, as it's broken down into lots of little pieces, some of them step-by-step advice, some of them anecdotal, and some of them philosophical. The 4 Hour Workweek is divided into 4 sections, each of which explores one of the components to the lifestyle design. And then it breaks it down. Define your objective. Decide what's important. Set goals. Ask yourself, what do I really want? Eliminate distractions to free up time. Learn to be effective, not efficient. Focus on the 20% of stuff that's important and ignore the 80% that isn't. Put yourself on a low information diet. Learn to shunt aside interruptions and learn to say no. Automate your cash flow to increase income. Outsource your life. Hire a virtual assistant to handle menial tasks. And develop a business that can run on autopilot. This is the weakest section of the book, they say. Liberate yourself from traditional expectations. Design your job to increase mobility. This could mean working from home, or it could mean using a geographic arbitrage to take mini retirements in countries with favorable exchange rates. First and foremost, right off the bat, the book makes it clear that you should pick and choose from the material presented within, and that's a vital caveat for any personal productivity book, but especially this one. And now it breaks down the contents of the book, which basically gets into the first 4 steps, and then the 5 and 6, which are like the key concepts, and then there's a thing of links. So again, this book is broken into 4 topics. There's and it spells out the word deal, D-E-A-L. And so step 1 is the D of the deal, which D is for definition. Most of this section is devoted to divorcing yourself from the idea of working yourself to death for a gold watch and a pat on the back. Instead, you should abandon a few concepts such as retirement as a holy grail, and that absolute income is the most important thing. And then it's got in parentheses, relative income, for example. The amount you earn per hour of work is the most important thing in this book. So the idea they're saying is the most important part of this book is the amount of income that you earn per hour of work. These are assumptions that actually have a lot in common with books like Your Money or Your Life and The Voluntary Simplicity Movement. Here's one key exercise from this section that really shows what he's talking about. Spend about 5 minutes and define your dream. If it wasn't for the things you had to do, what would you be doing with your life right now? Now spend another 5 minutes and define your nightmares in so much detail as possible. What is the absolute worst thing that could happen if you followed that dream? If you take the dream and compare it to the nightmare, is that possible nightmare really bad enough to abandon your dream? From there, the book goes into a very detailed process of breaking down that dream into tangibles and seeing how close you really are to that dream, and sets up the remainder of the book, which identifies things you can do to reach that dream. Now, for the process of us going over this book on a weekly basis, or bi-weekly, however it ends up turning out, I'm going to be doing these step at a time. So each review that I'll be doing from here on out will be on a step, and then I'll be going through the process with myself personally with you guys of what it is that my dreams are and what my nightmares are and the things that I'm doing to take the actions to then make my dreams actually come to reality. So it's pretty cool. All right, so step 2 of this deal anagram. E is for elimination. In terms of techniques that you can really use to improve your day-to-day life, this section has the best advice. It focuses on some very straightforward techniques for eliminating most of the regular mundane activities that fill our professional life. Here are 7 examples. Make your to-do list for tomorrow before you finish today. When you add an item to this list, ask yourself that at the end of the day, would you feel that it was productive if that was the only thing that you got done? Then, when you start in the morning, just attack that list with vigor, knowing that all the stuff is worthwhile. Number 2 is stop all multitasking immediately. This means when you're trying to write, close your email program and your instant messenger program and your web browser and just focus on writing, nothing else. This allows you to churn out the task way faster. Number 3 is force yourself to end your day at 4 p.m. or end your week on Thursday. Even if you have to come in on Friday, do nothing, or even better, focus on something to develop. The goal here is to learn to compress your productive time. For example, just kind of a side note for myself, I try to make one day a week that I come in the studio as a day that I just fuck off. Just try something new. Okay. On to number 4. Go on a 1-week media fast. Basically avoid television, other than 1 hour a day for enjoyment or relaxation, and nonfiction reading of any kind, including news, newspapers, magazines, the web, etc. By the end of it, you'll discover that the media is information and overload was giving you a mild attention deficit. Okay, number 5 is check your email only twice a day. Combining this with the no multitasking principle enables email to only eat up a sliver of my time when it is used to seemingly bog down everything. Makes total sense. Batch things. If you can batch things, it gets done way sooner and quicker and more efficient. Number 6 is never ever have a meeting without a clear agenda. Request a specific agenda of the meeting. If there isn't one, ask why you're meeting at all. Often meetings will become more productive, or if they are really time wasters to begin with, they'll vanish into thin air. And number 7, don't be afraid to hang up a do not disturb sign. This was something that seemed very natural to me, but for many people it's not. If you're being interrupted regularly by people popping in, you're effectively multitasking, and multitasking is a time waster. So if you have a task that requires your focus, literally hang up a do not disturb sign. People will get the message. So those are 7 examples of the second part, which is E for elimination. And step 3 we get into of the deal anagram is A for automation. Now this is kind of a difficult thing for us to do unless you bring on employed help and you're doing other things outside of the glass world, like maybe sending emails out to shops, which you can automate. You know, if you have like say a list of 500, you can set up 100 a week to go out, for 5 weeks kind of thing, and then have them on a loop or whatever. So anyways, automation is kind of tricky, but this is still an important topic anyways. So A is for automation. This section is a lengthy description of how to become a little or no. Step 3, A is for automation. This section is a lengthy description of how to become a lengthy or no value-added entrepreneur. In other words, a middleman. The idea is that if you set up being a middleman appropriately, you can create a stream of passive income that permits you to make money with very little effort. While this is interesting to some people, the truth is that it's not quite as easy as the author makes it out to be. It relies heavily on salesmanship, in parentheses they say the ability to convince people you have a product that they want, close parentheses, and luck, stumbling into the market. If you have both of these examples that he gave you, you can do quite well. but such things are never guaranteed. And step 4, L, is for liberation. The final section ties the pieces of the puzzle together in an overall picture. In essence, it takes the dreams defined in the first part and enhances the productivity of the second part, and the passive income of the third part, and creates that titular, that's a weird word, of 4-hour work week. One of the questions is, what do you do with your free time? That's the entire point of this book. The free time that you have now that you've gone through this book, and you've designed your lifestyle to where you're working less and making more. Time allows you to follow your dreams, and this entire book's purpose has been about moving more and more time into your own personal life so you can do these things. There you go. Try and find out how you can take this book and increase more time for yourself to do things that you want to do. Even though you want to be behind the torch and being creative and being an artist, I get that. But there's also other things in your life that you're passionate about. I know myself personally, I love gardening. I love pulling weeds. I love going fishing. I love disc golfing. I love walking my dogs and riding my bike and having time with my family, like especially my family, and doing all that with my family. And if I can free up my time and make more money hourly, it's going to allow me to do that. You know, he gives an example of just kind of a little thing in this book about how you take two people, you take Jane and you take Joe. And Jane's working 80 hours a week, making $50,000 a year. Or say she's making, so Jane's working 80 hours a week, making $100,000 a year. Now you've got Joe who's working 25 hours a week and making $60,000 a year. If you break that down hourly and do the math, Joe at the end is actually making more money per hour. So you think about that. And $60,000 a year is not that bad of a living, especially if it's all your net. But that being said, if you work 40 hours a week and you make $400 an hour, that's a lot of damn money you're bringing in. So, you know, it's ways to think about how to increase your productivity, how to increase the value of the glass that you're making, and how to get more money for it, period. And that's what this book gets into, and why it's important to understand all that. And again, guys, don't forget to go to audibletrial.com/WiseGuyRadio, where you can download this book, The 4-Hour Workweek by Tim Ferriss, for free. Just get a 30-day free trial, sign up for it, and you guys will be good to go. And this has been our overview for book number 2 in the Wise Guy Radio Audio Book Club. Well, again, thank you guys so much for tuning in and listening to me ramble on and describe things to you and give you reviews and whatever else. And I hope you guys have enjoyed this episode. Coming up next episode, we are going to be getting back into our glass knowledge page with Shane Penn. We're going to be discussing inside-out glass and the history and the techniques and what have you. And also going to be getting into a little bit more stuff about upcoming shows and whatever else. So other than that, I hope you guys are having a blast. Episode 50 that is coming up is actually going to be my longest episode yet. So hopefully you guys can handle a 3-hour conversation. And other than that, y'all be good. Happy melting. Again, thank you for tuning in. And don't forget to subscribe to the Wise Guy Radio Show podcast, whether on iTunes or Stitcher. You guys all rock, and I love you so much. Thank you all for tuning in. Okay. See ya.
Thank you guys so much for listening to this episode of the Wise Guy Radio Show. If you have any questions, comments, or remarks, please leave them in the show notes page area where it says comments. We'll see you soon. Have a wise night.